Hey, this is Bolo at LTAPerformance, and in this video, you will discover simple meal plans for weight loss. Now, preparing for success is so important for your eating in order to lose weight. Now, you know how frustrating it can be when you don't have the adequate meals ready for yourself, when you have to make choices. All the temptations can get to you, right? You will understand how to break free from that with having these simple meal plans for yourself. Now be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I've been coaching hundreds of clients to be able to lose weight in my 8+ years of coaching. So I kind of understand how it works if you aren't set up for success. It's so critical. Now you have to be real with yourself. You're not Gordon Ramsey. You're not going to go into that kitchen and putting so much effort into cooking. You have a very busy life with all the things you have to do with work, kids, and your other personal responsibilities. So let's be real. Let's put together simple solutions that are going to lead for you to lose the weight and be able to keep it off for good, right? So how do you create these simple meal plans, right? How do you do it? Well, you have to understand, of course, with your goal, you're getting into a calorie deficit. So what does that mean? You need to burn more calories than you're taking in, right? So any meal plan or any meal choices you're going to make has to follow those guidelines. So to keep it easy, let's focus on a couple of things first. Now, with each meal, let's focus on having high fiber and having high protein. So what are some of these ideas that we can run through? Well, high fiber, think about vegetables, right? There's tons of different vegetables that you can think of that's going to satisfy that high fiber. And then when we think of protein, let's first start off with more of the animal protein, right? So you don't have to eat the same foods every day or every meal, right? You can create variety by just following that template, right? So it could be any type of animal protein. So maybe one day you have cod, another day you have fish, another day you have turkey, another day you have steak, another day you have pork loins. Like, there's so many different avenues you can go with it as far as breaking this down. Same thing with vegetables, right? Maybe one day you have broccoli, another day you have kale, another day you have asparagus, another day you have spinach, right? And we focus on that, it's going to make it very simple. Now, these don't take a lot of preparation, right? You can simply cook your meat, on a simple grill. You can put it in a skillet, pan-seared. You can put it in the oven and bake it, right? Doesn't take a lot of time. Not a lot of prep work, right? Same thing with the veggies, right? You can just put it in the microwave, stovetop, skillet. Very simple. So you want to follow first understanding high protein, high fiber is going to be the way to go. Now, those are very simple to do. Doesn't take a lot of work. Simple measuring cup, having a food scale, and then you can understand, okay, how many ounces do I need to follow? How many cups do I need to have? And the great thing about these foods, these keep you fuller longer. What does that mean? That means you will not overeat. So you eating more of those are going to keep you fuller longer and keep you under your calories for the day, which is going to allow you to lose the weight because you're going to be burning the fat. So you need to focus on this. Now, you can add more variety to it by not only changing how you may cook the meal, but putting different flavors. Now, there's many different flavors you can put that doesn't take, like I said, a lot of time, a lot of effort. No one's saying you have to marinate all this food for days on days, right? It could be simply adding different flavors with some different seasonings, different juices. Very simple to be able to do. You can make it simple for yourself where it's not too complex. Now, you can even add different things as far as some different grains, some different things that will work as well, right? And following the rule of just understanding the high fiber, high protein, right? Now, what are some other simple meal plan ideas that you can do? Well, keep it simple, right? Keep it simple. Now, don't try to do too much at once, right? So one thing that I've always really laid out for my clients to make it simple, if they're going to meal prep, is in the morning, if you're going to eat, let's say a breakfast, for example, you don't really have to meal prep those as much. You can keep those very simple, some quick oats, some eggs, something very simple, some toast, something that's simple, which doesn't take a lot of time. Now you only really have to focus on just lunch and dinner, right? If you just have to focus on lunch and dinner, those aren't a lot of meals to really focus on. It really won't take that much time to do that. So another thing that you really need to focus on when you're creating simple meals for weight loss is to simplify it, right? Don't focus too much. Maybe you're not a breakfast person, but if you are, those are quick meals that you don't really have to focus on the meal prep. Now you only have to work about 2 other meals. Now, keeping that very simple, you'll be able to do. Now, if you do want to add something more complex to it, something simple, it still doesn't have to go on a large scale, Keep it where maybe it's a soup, it's a salad, right? Maybe it's a pasta, but it's not a complex pasta where you're just adding a few things in where it doesn't. You just want to make sure your meal prep isn't going to take too much of your time. Because the frustrating part of it is when it feels like too much effort, when you have too much stress and you're trying to balance all your other goals and all your other responsibilities, you won't stick to it. Most meal preps fail because you feel like you may have to put too much effort and you're not able to sustain that effort. So if you go all out and make this so complex, it will feel very difficult. But if you keep it simple by following the high protein, following the high fiber, like I said, if you are adding some grains, the non-processed type, you may add different rices, different other grains within there, right? To make it very simple. Now, by doing this, it makes it a lot easier for yourself because you're not going to be overwhelmed by putting so much time. The reason we eat out so much, right, is because it's convenience. Convenience is going to be the number one factor for you to be creating the habits that are sustainable, right? We live in that world where we want convenience. So if your cooking isn't convenient for you and it's causing too much stress, you're going to have issues with that. So if you can simplify with your meal prep with the different easy meal ideas, it's going to make it a lot easier, right? Because if you have to go through all these different recipes, you have to go through all these different ingredients you have to shop for, it just adds more time, right? You can keep it very simple by making it just like that. Also, with your meal plans, to make it simple, understand how many calories you need to take in, right? That's going to really help you. So there are different tools you can look online and apps to make sure that simplifies it as well, so you don't feel like you have to cook more than you need to by following those different goals that work for you. Now, this is going to be a very easy process when you stick to those templates as far as that. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make it more difficult than it has to be. Add some different flavors in it. Make sure it's not bland. If you eat for bland, you're probably not going to enjoy it. Remember, eating is an experience. So we like to enjoy different things, but also you have to understand you're on the go, right? So if your meal plans are very simple that you can put in a Tupperware, so when you're out and you just have to heat it up, very simple, right? You want to make sure these things are accessible for you that isn't too complex, because like I said, if you're having to create some big meals, it's not going to be very simple. It's not going to be easy for you to carry. That's another big factor. You want to make sure you have food ready to go that you can consume that is going to be suitable for your goals. It's so critical that you actually put that in the right plan. If you don't have the right plan with your meal prep, it's going to be very difficult. So let's recap. What is going to be the most important thing for simple meal plans for weight loss? Having that template, right? So looking at, okay, does it follow the high fiber, the high protein, right? Now, you can also add other things outside of animal protein. Maybe you're a vegetarian or you want to reduce your amount of animal products, right? You can eat other things like beans that are going to be very good for you, and you can follow the same rule with it. Just look for a high protein source with it, right? Maybe if it's even a meat substitute, you can do that as well. You just want to keep it simple. Also, make sure you put different flavors, because like I said, you don't want to get bored. So add different flavors, add different seasonings, different juices that you can put into your food that's not going to be too difficult for you. Simple things. Add different flavors to make sure that you're going to be able to stay consistent with it. If you can do that, it makes it a lot easier. Also as well, make sure you change your different meals by adding small changes. Like I said, it be simple as if it's a soup, it's a salad, it's a pasta. Sometimes if it's not just simply, like I said, just the very basis of eating vegetables or a high protein source, you can add those with some different meal plans, like I said, that aren't very difficult. Just different meal ideas for yourself to keep you on track. Now, if you can do this, you'll be easily able to lose the weight and keep it off for good and maintain a healthy lifestyle. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel, and I would love to hear in the comments what you found useful for yourself, and be sure to watch the next video.